Welcome back to this week's edition of On the Front Row with Faith. Today I'm here with DJ Bennett.
Hi, I'm DJ. I'm a junior and I'm from Bellevue, Florida.
What brought you from Florida to Auburn?
So I would say mainly the tennis. When I came on my official visit here, everything kind of just fell into place. I loved the school, the people, everybody that I met on my visit. It just felt like home.
What kind of sealed the deal for you to come to Auburn?
For me, when I was getting recruited by a few different colleges, I was injured at the time. So when I decided that Auburn was the place that I wanted to spend my 4 years of college at, I told the coach that if she wanted to take me with my injuries and everything, then I would want to come here, and they said yes. So that was pretty much it. And Auburn was the only official visit that I went on. So
Oh, wow.
yeah, I was like, I had my mind set on coming here, and so I'm glad that it all worked out.
What injuries were you battling?
I dislocated my kneecaps.
Oh my, both of them?
Yes, not at the same time though,
Okay.
but yeah, I dislocated the first one when I was almost 16, and I had 2 surgeries, fully recovered from that, and then like 3 months later I did the same thing to the other knee. So
Oh my gosh.
it was like 3 years total that I couldn't play or do anything like that. So.
How did that affect your recruiting process?
I mean, it was hard, but it was also during COVID, so it wasn't like everything was all online anyways. It was a little bit harder just because not all of the top schools were contacting me. And I was surprised that I was even getting contacted at all. I didn't even know when recruiting started or anything like that. That was all kind of like my dad. He knew all the dates and stuff like that. So we were on vacation, like at the beach one weekend when recruiting opened, and I started getting all these text messages from these different coaches, and I was like, what is going on? But yeah, so.
Is there anything you miss about Florida?
My family, for the most part, and my friends, but a lot of my friends are kind of spread out all over the place, whether they're at universities or like in a different country, so I would say mainly my parents.
But you said they get to come up here and spend some time with you?
Yeah, it's only a 5.5 hour drive, so they get to make the trip pretty often whenever they can both get off of work, so.
And how was it during, I guess, your recruiting process? You said your dad helped you out with kind of a lot of that. What kind of relationship do you guys have?
We're very, very close. I'm close with both my parents. My dad was the one that introduced me to tennis. I did gymnastics before. I did competitive gymnastics until I was 11. And my dad kind of decided that I was too tall for that sport. So he switched me to tennis and started coaching me, and I can say we definitely didn't get along in the beginning. It's kind of hard being coached by your dad, but now that I've grown up and I've matured, I feel like we're closer than ever, and I love talking to him after my matches because he watches every single one, so it's good to just, like get advice from him. I feel like he sees my game better than everyone, so yeah.
And did he play tennis at all growing up, or?
No, he didn't start playing until he was in like his 30s, so it was just.
And that's how he started coaching you, I guess, was from his knowledge then?
Yeah, and he watches tennis every single day, like he's just on it, so.
Did you grow up watching tennis?
Not really, I don't really watch tennis now, honestly, like sometimes I'll watch my own matches, but he definitely watches it way more than I do. Honestly, I'd probably watch gymnastics more than tennis, which sounds kind of bad. But yeah, he knows every single like fact about anything. He's very into it. So.
Would you say he's probably who you look up to most when it comes to tennis, but also maybe your personal life?
Yeah, 100%. And when I was growing up, my mom, she's a nurse, so when she was working a lot, I was raised by my dad pretty much. We were just spending a lot of time together, so I get a lot of my qualities from him. But yeah.
If there is somebody in the tennis world, who do you kind of look up to?
Oh, I would have to think about that one. I would say like my favorite tennis player, Roger Federer, just everything about him, like he's just a classy guy and he's one of the best players of all time, so probably him.
And if you're not playing tennis at Auburn, what's your favorite thing to do in Auburn?
Oh, I don't know, I feel like there isn't that much to do.
Do you ever go to Lake Martin or just?
I've been a few times to Lake Martin or go to Chihuahua or honestly just hang out with other girls on the team and like cook or bake or just watch a movie.
Would you say that y'all are pretty close?
Definitely. Yeah.
In hanging outside of practice and doing all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, we try to spend a lot of time together. It's kind of hard when we're spending so much time together at practice and lift and doing conditioning and recovery, things like that. We already spend so much time together, but outside of tennis, we sometimes, try to go to dinner together, or, like hang out at each other's houses or rooms or wherever we'll be at the time. But yeah, we try as much as possible.
And you said that you were a gymnast before you started playing tennis.
Yeah.
If you were to play any other sport, would it be competing in gymnastics?
I would probably not, just
Okay.
because I'm way too tall for that. I see some of the gymnasts walking around campus or in the cafeteria here, and I'm like, I think I'm 2 heads taller than you. So I would definitely injure myself if I did gymnastics. If I were to choose another sport, I'd probably say soccer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you ever play growing up or?
When I was 4,
Little.
probably, and yeah, I wasn't very good.
If you had a superpower that without playing the sport, you can't use it in tennis, but what would it be?
I would say I would probably want to read people's minds.
Okay. Who would you go to first?
To read their mind?
Yeah.
Definitely Jordan Zabo.
Okay. Any specific reason?
I just want to know what he's thinking about. Like, he says some crazy stuff, and he's always got something to say. So I just want to know what's running through his mind.
What has been the most valuable piece of information that you guys as a team and you individually have had to be so successful this season?
Yeah, I think at the start of last year, we all learned that just being cohesive as a unit really helped in us being successful. And I think the coaching staff here, everything, it's just such a positive environment and they really care about us. So I think, honestly, just being in a good environment, wanting to come to practice every day, being around people that I enjoy hanging out with and I enjoy spending time with, I think that's the most important thing. And we also all just work extremely hard. So I think that's the most important thing. That's the most valuable thing that I've learned, and that's, I think, what's helped us to be super successful.
Y'all are headed into the opening round of the NCAA tournament. I guess the main goal always is to win.
Yeah.
But is there any personal goal for you that you've set for yourself that you want to achieve?
At this point in the season, it's pretty much all team stuff. So in that retrospect, I would say win the national championship. But for me personally, I have a U.S. Open wildcard event waiting for me in June. So I would say to make it to the U.S. Open, that would be a really big personal goal for me.
Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to be on the front row with Faith.
Thank you so much for having me.
To keep up with DJ, make sure you subscribe to the Auburn Blitz YouTube, and we'll be back next week with another episode of On the Front Row with Faith. War Eagle.
War Eagle.